Hi. A lot has happened since the last time I filmed. I finished the first movement. That's great. I did it all off camera, kind of. I filmed myself doing it, but late at night, I was absolutely delirious and I could not focus on working on the thing and making an okay set of footage at the same time. So I was gonna edit the vlog yesterday, but I just decided all the footage I got was trash. So, I'm just going to talk you through what I did. At the end of the last video, I did the trumpets and the French horns, which was cool. All went super well. I did the rest of the low brass off camera because I figured that it wouldn't be super interesting. But here's some stuff I did. So here's the file. There's the upper woodwinds. There's the saxophones that I forgot. Trumpets and horns that I did in the last video. And then I did both the trombone parts. And I know I said I wasn't going to throw the bass trombone in there because we don't have a bass trombone player right now, but I did anyway because we've had a bass trombone player before, and I guess I felt comfortable doing so. And I just made a mental note not to give it too many important parts, just in case we can't get one. So the bass trombone is just going to reinforce the low brass sound. And there's the violinist advising me on this particular project. Hi, Tim. That being said, there's also a euphonium part that's supposed to go right here. I didn't put that in there just because I don't think we've ever had a euphonium before. So I guess I can always add it in later, but oh well. Then I did the strings. And again, the double bass part was in the original score, so I didn't have to do any thinking. The cello part is mainly just going to reinforce the bass part. Just to add some overtones, add some upper octaves so you can tell what the basses are playing. And then up here with violin 1 and 2 and the viola, they're for the most part doubling the mid and upper voices. So the viola is almost acting like a French horn or a saxophone in this first movement, and the violins are almost acting like clarinets or flutes or whatever. There was one little bit of troubleshooting that I'm actually pretty proud of. If we go up to some original material, this 3/4 bar, we have a couple different things going on. In these upper voices, like the oboe or the clarinets or the trumpets, we have these really fast chromatic runs. You're not going to be able to hear this, but just watch the blue line and see how fast it is. Super fast. And then the other thing that's going on is in the lower voices, the tenor sax, the horns kind of switch between upper and lower voice. Trombone, bass trombone, tuba, they just play a sustained pitch. And the pitch that they sustain actually does imply a little bit of tonal harmony. So what I was struggling with was, what do I have the viola and the violins do? Do I have them do this chromatic run, or do I have them sustain a pitch? And I kind of decided on a hybrid of the two, where they play the 16th notes on one pitch. And it'll have the articulation and the fast rhythm that I'm looking for, but they don't have to change notes super fast. So I just kind of took this idea of tonality hidden by dissonance that the composer is kind of using, because these two sustained pitches, this F sharp and this F natural, even though they're chromatic and like a sharp seems dissonant in a key with a lot of flats like B flat minor, this F sharp is actually just an enharmonically respelled G flat, which is in the B flat minor scale. So it does imply some pretty basic harmony, a predominant, and then landing on F, the dominant of B flat minor. But because it's so loud and there's a chromatic scale happening on top of it, and it's a leap of a major third, which sounds weird in a minor key, it's hard to tell. So I took that idea, tonality hidden by dissonance, and I just spelled out an interesting chord here. So we've got a G flat on top, which is, the same as the F sharp on the bottom. We have a B flat here, and then an F. So it's notes from the 6 major 7th chord. G flat major 7th. This is the 7th, this is the 3rd, and this is the tonic. But I spelled it so that the outline between F and G flat is a minor 9th. So dissonant interval, but they're still chord tones. And then the same idea here when we get to this sustained F, and these chromatic runs go from concert F to concert C. Pretty clear dominant, so I just put the tritone from the dominant chord in here, which in an F7 chord, it's E flat and A. I hope that ends up working out. It's hard to tell when you listen to this because even though in a live orchestra, there's going to be a lot of strings players to compete with the woodwinds and brass, in this program, it just looks to MuseScore like it is one part each, and they are greatly outnumbered by the amount of woodwinds and brass in the score. So it's hard to tell if the chords are going to work, but I'm sure they're going to be lovely. And then also down here under the percussion, there's a piano part that I put in there. And I also added a left hand to some parts because I feel like that actually might help the pianist feel like the music is more natural. And this is what the whole score looks like. Very, very dense. But I listened to it and it sounds epic and I'm excited. A couple of logistical updates as well. The big one is that we now have a few extra months because this piece was pushed to our December concert instead of the August concert, which makes me feel a little bit better. It makes me feel like I have a little bit more time. But here's the thing. Not only am I taking on something very, very difficult by attempting to arrange a piece for orchestra, which I've never done before. Once I'm done arranging, I have to learn how to play it myself. I'm probably going to end up playing the xylophone part. And this is also just one of the hardest pieces I've ever seen. So I'm still going to try and finish arranging as quickly as I can so that I can have more time to practice my part. Another update, I'm debating whether I should break up the different movements into different files. What I would like to do, just for everyone's convenience, is do all of this extremely dense piece in one MuseScore file so that I can send the conductor one score, I can send everybody one PDF with their part, and it'll just be a little bit easier on everyone. The thing that's giving me a little bit of pause is that towards the end of working on this first movement, MuseScore started to do some weird things. Like when I was typing some text in there, the text was lagging just a little bit behind my fingers. And it seemed a little bit like the tom part got corrupted because percussion is weird in MuseScore. It seemed a little bit like the MIDI library got corrupted a little bit, and I had to, take out the tom part and type it in again. So I don't know if that was an update that did that, and I don't know how big of a deal the lag is, but this is only the first movement. This piece is 4 movements long, and I'm scared of getting to the 4th movement and then having it crash or get corrupted. So I'm wondering if I should end this file here and have this file just be movement 1, start a new file for movement 2, and safeguard my work a little bit at the cost of, some annoying clerical work down the line. I'm gonna try and keep it all in one file. But if it starts getting a little bit too scary for me, then I'm just gonna cut my losses and just start a new file. I have the months to do that. I have extra time now. so I could do that. And then the final update has to do with acquiring percussion instruments. You know, just like any professional orchestra, the instrumentalists supply their own instruments, and that includes me. So, other than the timpani, which are owned by our timpanist, all the percussion equipment that the orchestra uses is mine. So, it's a little bit scary because this is also a very percussion heavy piece. I'm just going to read off my equipment list just to give you an idea. We need timpani. I'm arranging the piece for the standard 4 timpani, the 23-inch, 26-inch, 29-inch, and 32-inch. But if we can get more drums, especially the lower ones like the 29 or 32, that would greatly help the timpani player. So we could make do with 4 drums, but it would be a lot easier on George if he could get like another 29 or another 32. We need xylophone, which I have. We need vibraphone, marimba, and crotals, which I don't have. We need bongos, which I have, but they're a little bit broken. George also has bongos, so we might be fine. George is our timpanist. We need concert toms, which I don't have. I have drum set toms. We might be able to make do with that. We need a large suspended cymbal. I have a couple cymbals that we could experiment with, but they're technically drum set cymbals. We need a large tam-tam, which I don't have. We need a thunder sheet, which I don't have, but I think a China cymbal will work if we don't have one. We need a sizzle cymbal. I have a sizzle China. I hope that works okay. We need a hi-hat. I have that. Triangle, tambourine. I have those. Flexitone. I don't have a flexitone. And some sort of loud, high metal sound, like a brake drum or a zilbel. We also need piano and celeste. And an electric guitar. Very equipment heavy. I don't know where the heck I'm going to get some of this stuff from. There are some things that we could omit and do without. Like, honestly, we could do without a marimba. And like I said, the thunder sheet, there are other things that we can use to make the thunder sheet work. But there are other things. I have heard this piece and I have a picture of this piece in my head. And it will not be nearly as impactful if we don't have certain things like crotals and a celeste. Those things are non-negotiable in my mind. So I need to really think about how we're gonna make that work. Anyway, that's my update. It was more of an update than a vlog. That's pretty much everything that's going on with this project right now. More updates to come. I'm gonna start working on Movement 2 very soon. Probably actually tomorrow. Or even today if I can finish editing this quickly enough. Wish me luck.